Michele Bannon describes herself as joyful. Her infectious laugh, wide smile, and outgoing personality endears her to most everyone she meets. But aside from the public persona, beats a heart of someone who truly cares for her fellow man, her community, and the betterment of all northeastern Pennsylvania. Michele Bannon was born, reared, and lived most of her life in Carbondale. The daughter of Gerald and Rita Bannon, Michele was one of 6 children who grew up in this Irish Catholic family. She was the youngest of 4. Then over a decade later, 2 more brothers came along. Her life as a child was quite Mayberry-esque, enjoying the neighborhood, playing sports with her brothers and friends in the park, and spending summers at her grandparents' cottage at Elk Lake. Her parents taught their children to cherish family, live by the golden rule, and be responsible.
My parents and grandparents were always very supportive of us being who we were intended to be in the world. Never really cajoled you or forced you into doing anything you didn't want to do other than work.
Michele attended St. Rose School to 7th grade, then attended Carbondale Area Junior-Senior High. As part of her responsibility, she worked babysitting jobs, took a paper route, and of course, did her chores at home. She became a member of the first ever girls' tennis team at the school, along with participation in the French club, ski club, and others. Michele really didn't have a plan for the future while in high school and enrolled at Wilkes University majoring in psychology because she liked people. She moved away from home to live in Wilkes-Barre, her only years away from the city, and during that time dormed at the school, getting a job as a college resident assistant, working as an orientation leader, and also administrative assistant in the dean's office. It not only continued to show her as a responsible adult, but actually led her on a path that would become her future.
I was always very interested in politics, so I took my first semester, actually, I took a political science course. And I was always intrigued by attorneys as well, too. I love the law. So I took some political science classes, and as I got deeper into those, I realized I liked administration. Even though law was a huge passion of mine, I liked the actual administration and grassroots way of doing things. So I picked up some public administration classes, and from there I fell madly in love with that. So, you know, between land development and planning and zoning, it was my big nerd aha epiphany moment when I realized this is what I want to do with my life.
After graduation, job prospects were slim. She took a job at a local shop in town to make ends meet, but it was the early 90s and the economy was not great. Despite her love of family, it was every man and woman for themselves.
And I interviewed all over. I interviewed in Philadelphia and New York and New Jersey. I went to countless interviews because I didn't want to stay here. I thought the grass was greener and that I'd have a better life somewhere else. And then after being here for so long, I realized this is what life is all about. You know, because when you're younger, you have this preconceived thought of how things should be or what they should be, and then as you get older, you realize what really is important in life. So I decided to stay here at that point.
Then on July 5th, 1994, 25 years ago, the job that would define Michele's career and the path of Carbondale's future came about. With retirement approaching the Carbondale City Clerk's office, Michele was offered the job.
Funny enough, the woman who retired, she started the year and the month I was born, and her name was Mary. And she was a very dry-wit older woman who my first day of work came in after 12:10 Mass and said, here's a list of everything you're responsible for. Everything you need is in those filing cabinets, and if you need me, here's my number, give me a call. And it was the best thing she could ever do because I had to learn it on my own. And I think she instinctively knew that if I did that, then I'd learn from the bottom up. And it was the best thing she ever did.
Michele did learn the job and many other lessons along the way. With leadership from the mayor and city council, the Pioneer City has strived to preserve its unique history, develop economic growth, revitalize the downtown area, and work to provide a sound quality of life for its residents. Most of all, there's been a sway in attitude that things are possible and that working together can make a difference.
There's never a time that this community hasn't risen to the occasion. They really step up to the plate at all times. You know, I'm humbled every day by seeing what goes on. You know, behind the scenes, things that people don't even realize go on. You know, from people taking care of other people that can't take care of themselves, or by making grandiose things happen or making little small things happen. That's what this community always rises to the occasion. There's never a time they don't.
Michele had the opportunity to get involved in many organizations that the city could help and that would benefit Carbondale's long-term growth. For economic development, she became actively involved in the Greater Carbondale Chamber of Commerce, the Carbondale Historical Society, NeighborWorks of Northeastern Pennsylvania, the Finance Committee and Pastoral Council of St. Rose of Lima Church, among many others. Michele also needed to build strategic alliances with organizations that would provide services that the city could not afford, and that happened through the Greater Carbondale YMCA. The Y has a daily impact on the lives of the people in the community, and Michele quickly realized if the Pioneer City is to prosper, she had to do all she could to help.
And that we don't have the capacity to do. Right. You know, we try to make, the quality of, that's our number one goal here at all times, is to improve the quality of life and provide a great quality of life. And on our own, we can't do that. It's partners like the YMCA that make that possible.
As a pioneer hero, Michele's deeds are not only known in her own community. The Junior League of Scranton recognized her as an outstanding woman who exhibits the capacity to lead, motivate, and inspire others and the community she serves. And Michele Bannon is the person that the Pioneer City can point to for her tireless efforts, her inexhaustible energy, and her dedication and devotion to the place she lovingly calls home.
First, I'd like to thank the YMCA for having me be a pioneer hero. At first, I was very hesitant to do it because there's so many people that should go before me. But coming from the YMCA, I knew it was my duty and my job. I'd like to first thank the other recipients for being a pioneer hero. You truly make my job as a city clerk very easy because of your willingness to make our community work. And it truly is a humbling privilege to have this honor. Thank you.